You've set goals, you have bills to pay, you've got family to manage, you've got friends to see and help and support, you've got shows booked up, you've got all these things going on, and taking time off feels indulgent and feels like a luxury that you just cannot afford. If that's how you feel this episode is for you, I'm conscious that some people here might be like, I'm the other way. I can't get to work. It's the opposite. I'll do a separate episode on that. Today I want to talk about taking time off because it's something that I don't want to say I've struggled with. I don't know, but it's something that I've had to really think about and find ways to be able to take time off because of my personality type. So, those who know me well know I'm all or nothing. And I, when I start a creative project, I am like all in. And this is something that I've accepted about myself as I've got older. Rather than trying to force myself to change and be a different type of person, I'm really embracing this side of me that goes full pelt into a project. And when I find a project and I get my teeth stuck in, I've always been the same. I lose myself in it. I hyper focus. Everything else in my life falls apart and I'm like, I'm in it. And it's quite nice to know that now because I can prepare myself for it. And I can feel actually that I'm just about to head into one of those periods. So I can tell everybody, I can put things in to support that. But also, what I need to do is create some time off in advance because I am the type of person when I get in that hole of working and I'm fixated on something, it's really difficult then for me to come out of that. And so it's almost like I'm looking at my future self, thinking, if you're going to work so intently now, you're going to need a break in October. I won't want to have a break. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on for me. And when I know that when I get into my work, because I'm just coming out of a break, I'm in a break at the moment. I'll talk about that in a sec. So I'm looking ahead, thinking I know I'm about to go into a full busy season where I'll be so obsessed about my work because I love it. I've got a project I'm excited to get started on, and I know for a fact I will not want to let go of it when I'm in it. I'm not in it right now. I'm looking at my future self because I've learned so much about myself now. I can see that October will come, and unless I've planned it now, I will not take any time off. And no one will be able to reason with me. I won't even be able to reason with myself because I'll be so in it and I won't want to stop. And the reasons that I won't want to stop for me are usually embedded in because I'm in a flow, because I'm in it and I'm scared that if I stop now, I'll lose momentum and I know I won't be able to get back to where I was, that I want to just keep going and going and going because it feels great when I'm on this journey and I'm working like this. So for all the reasons, I won't want to take time off. But the reason I will factor that time in is because we know it's not sustainable to work like that. I know it's not sustainable to work like that long term. And I know that because in the past I have worked like that and I've burnt out and I've not known, when to take a break because I'm in it. So now I've learned how to be this all or nothing person and actually plan ahead by, okay, I'm about to go into this really crazy busy season, so I'm going to carve out this time. And I know for a fact that when it comes to take that time off, I will feel anxiety about taking time off. Um, well, I don't know for a fact. Maybe I won't, but I know from past experience I do. I'll give you an example. So I was in a busy season not long ago when I was hosting a teacher art summit. Now, same thing, I said to my friend Sharon, I'm going to go all in on this summit. I'm going to live and breathe it. I'm excited about it. I know it's going to be one of my all in things. So I am going to put some little things in to take me away from it. And so one of the things that I put in my diary was right in the middle of planning the summit. Now, usually I would just not put anything in my diary because I'm going all in on something. And I thought, my friend asked me, would you like to go hiking? And it was slap bang in the middle of planning and executing this summit. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll pop it in. I'm going to be really busy and I'm going to be right in the middle of planning this summit and doing all this work, but I'm going to put it in, because what I have a tendency to do when I know that I'm going to be in those busy periods is carve things back, because I know that I'm going to be hyper focused. So that's not a bad thing. But what I can tend to do, and this is a negative that I would like to change, is that I can start to go down that hole of, I'm going to work every weekend and I'm going to work in every second that I've got, because I'm going to give it everything that I have. And so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to see anybody because I love it so much. So, because to me, when I'm working, it's not work, I love this so much. So I have to be really careful, and only careful from the point of view that I don't want to burn out. Um, and so sometimes when I go into those phases of intense working, because of my ADHD brain, what can happen is I can start to get like a proper spinny head, I call it, where the noise levels are high. I can't focus on anything. Like I've just worked too much that my head is like a spinning top and I can't stop it. So I don't want to get to that point, which I can often do. So I put these things in the diary. Now I'm in summit, I'm planning, I'm prepping, I'm speaking to guests, I'm putting it all together, I'm doing the marketing, I'm juggling all these things. And then the hike is approaching and I'm thinking, why on earth did I put that in the diary? That's just ridiculous. I've got all this work to do. I could really do without going on that hike right now. It happens every time I do this. And then I think about cancelling, but I'm not a person that cancels very often unless it's, really, really, I can't do it. So I'm sitting there thinking I should cancel that hike. I've got all this work to do. Like my to-do list is on like 3 pieces of paper, spilling all over the place. And that's what's on my mind is, should I cancel? And I chose not to cancel. And it's almost like I've got to a point now where I don't want to mull over things too much either. I don't want to waste time deliberating over a hike, going, shall I do it? Shall I not? All that time that I'm sat there thinking about whether I should do something, I could be ticking things off my list. So I'm very consciously aware now not to dwell too much on those decisions either. I just want to make a decision. Am I going? Am I not? And I thought, no, go. You've committed. It's paid, because it was a group hike. Just go, just do it, because you'll need the break. I'm so glad I did. And every time I take the break, I'm glad that I did. And I still went back to everything. It wasn't like I got so engrossed in it and then I couldn't return back to it. Yes, there will have been a bit of where was I up to? But again, when I do these things and I take these breaks, there's always so much to do. I could work 24 hours a day and there'll always be more things to do when you're in a big project. And so taking that time out was glorious, needed, and it was just actually what I needed, because otherwise I'd have ended up pushing too hard. And again, it's trusting my decisions as well, trusting that I put that in the diary for a reason. And so I went on the hike. It gave me space to breathe. It gave me time to reset. And that to-do list was still there when I got back. Nothing was that urgent that it needed doing at that point. And so what it's taught me now over the years is that having time off, for me as well, and for all of us, it's part of the creative process. And I've stopped seeing it as indulgent and actually, if I didn't take that time off, I could get all of this done. And instead see it as a necessity. And for all of us and each of us, I guess figuring out what time off you need is individual. I'm starting to learn that in amongst a busy period like that, I need 2 days where I just switch off. I also know that when I work intently, I work for a few months intently. In amongst that, I'll have little bits of time off, but then I need a big chunk of time off. And also for me, I have children, and when they're off, I like to be off too. So I navigate that. And that has come with challenges as well, because there's a big part of me that feels guilty for taking time off work, that worries about the money side, that thinks that, okay, well, if I keep, maybe we're not going to be making as much money if I take all this time off, and we need it for the business and for my team. And, it's not just about earning for me anymore, it's about the whole business. There has been guilt there about taking time off. And so, but again, and this summer has been an example, I've taken most of August off with my children. And it wasn't actually a planned thing. I wasn't planning on, but I was in it, and I've worked really, really hard this year. I've worked on a lot of projects. We've got a lot of projects coming up. We've got the whole redesign of United Art Space. We're redesigning our website. We're redesigning our membership. I'm re-recording all of our videos. Like, there's a lot to do. And so there would have been a part of me that would have panicked and gone, oh my gosh, we've got so much to do, that I can't afford to take August off. Have you heard yourself saying that? I say that. I can't afford to take time off. I don't have that luxury to take that time off. Well, this has been interesting for me, because then in August, I've got the children here. I want to be with them, the stuff that I've been wanting to do in the house. And I realise that I am going to have this big busy period. So rather than me see it as, I can't afford to take this time off because I've got all this to do, what I've decided to say instead is, I can't afford not to take this time off because I've got a really busy period coming up ahead. I can't not afford to take this time off because I've got a busy period ahead. It's changed my life. Usually I'll be saying I can't afford to take the time off because I've got all this stuff to do. So I've created all these projects, got this thing happening in September, I've got this happening in October, this thing happening in November. I've got, and I was right in the middle of redesigning my roadmap in my membership. So there was a big part of me, I didn't want to break away from that because I'm in it. And I just had to accept what felt right. And what felt right was slow down, take time off. And none of this is urgent right now. And looked at our finances, figured out what I needed to do to be able to keep us going. And in fact, one of the big things that I did to keep us going was cut back on costs. Realised that if we move from Active Campaign email software to Flowdesk, we save £600 a month. Can you believe that? Anyway, that's by the by. So that enabled me to just like relax. And also the money thing, I just want to talk about this for a minute. I can get tangled up about money. A lot of it comes from not having money. In my past, I've had many, many moments where I've not had money, pretty much all my life, to be honest. But some really scary moments, So being a business owner now with those lived fears is real. So I do have anxiety about cash flow and about what if we don't have enough, and so it's a big thing for me to work through. And what has been so liberating this month is letting go. I've just completely let go of any fear and even thoughts about money. I've just cut costs, figured out that we've got enough. And if I think too far in the future, it scares me. So I'm not thinking about it just for now. And it's not being, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not being frivolous, or there's a word that I'm trying to look for and it's not coming to me, where you're being irresponsible. I'm not being irresponsible. There's a big difference here. It's trusting. I am trusting. I've been in business now nearly 10 years, and I'm still here and I'm still going. And that's what I've had to say to myself this month to be able to take this time off, is to trust that everything is going to be okay. You've been in business this long, you will figure this out. You don't have to figure it out right now in this month, because everything will still be there. You do not because you've got all these projects does not mean that you've got to hold on to them and work on them all right now. You can afford to let them go and give yourself space and trust that you are going to pick this back up. And you've got this, Michelle. You are going to sort this all out. You're going to navigate it, because every problem has a solution and you're good at solving problems. And I've had to really have a word with myself to be able to take the time off, because I want to take time off without guilt. I want to take time off and be present. This is a big one for me with ADHD. It's sometimes really difficult for me to take time off and actually just be in the moment, because I'm thinking about the project and then the money, and what if we can't make enough money next month, and what if this project doesn't get off the ground, and what I'm mulling over the project like there. So to take time off and be still and notice. And so this is something I've been working on. So for me to take time off is like takes all this elaborate mindset work, and and it might not be so elaborate for you, but I want to share just in case it is, and go, do you know what? It's normal. If you're like this, it's normal and it's absolutely okay. And I'm fine with it. I laugh at it now. It's funny. And so I've been able to take most of August off with my children. And here's the gift of taking time off. So I downloaded things. I've downloaded everything on a whiteboard over here. So when I come back, I know exactly what I have to do. As I'm recording this right now, this will come out when I'm off on holiday. So this is what I do, is I think ahead now so I can alleviate as much stress as I possibly can for my future self. So I've pre-recorded this podcast. It will all come out without me having to do anything. I'm going to be sat on a beach when this comes out, and so that I can relax. I'll have nothing to worry about and nothing to think about. And so part of me taking time off now has been that, because I'm a business owner, thinking ahead, how can I make that time stress-free for myself? And then what I've also been able to do is learn how to detach by knowing that I don't need to think about this now because it's on my whiteboard. I don't need to think about finances because I've already thought about them. It's sorted, Michelle. Let it go. Because I can have a habit of overthinking and bringing myself back to things. So I'm letting them go and blowing things away. And then I've written a list of things that bring me joy. And there's been a book that I was given, and I want to listen to my music. And if things crop up and I have ideas, I'll write them down and park them ready for when I go back. And what's been so incredible is that I've been immersed in reading. We've done an art challenge this month in our membership called Stop, Look, Listen. And I have embodied Stop, Look, Listen for the whole month this month. And basically, Stop, Look, Listen is being in the moment. It's about noticing the tree that I've walked past for the last 2 years and jogged past every week and never really sat and paid attention to. And my son and I really sat and looked at this tree. We looked at the bark, we felt the bark, we noticed that it was a filbert, a Turkish filbert nut tree that bears fruit and nuts, and like, what the heck? And these gorgeous big leaves that are spiky. And we sat with that tree and really paid attention, brought the nuts back and drew them. I also, when I was on holiday, noticed this flowering plant in Greece, and I can't remember the name of that one, and noticed the petals and how papery they were. And then because of noticing that, I learned about that flower, which looks like a flower, but what I learned is they're not flowers, they're actually leaves. They're actually leaves protecting a tiny little flower inside. And all of this came from stopping, taking a break, taking time off, and noticing and being present and feeling those leaves, and then taking that back into my journal, my sketchbook, and Googling that and noticing it. And then this weird thing happened. I didn't know what that flower was. So I sent it to my friend and I said, "What is this?" Because I was thinking of you. She loves plants. And she told me the name of it. And I was like, "Oh, amazing. Okay." And she told me a little bit about it. Then I went back to my book. And I don't really read fiction books. It's been 2 years since I read a fiction book. And I sat there, opened up the page, and you won't believe this. It talked about that plant, that flower in the book. I was like, oh my gosh, these synchronicities when things happen. This is what happens when we stop and we pause and we take a break. Funny, peculiar little things happen. And it's almost like a nod from the universe to say, yeah, look what's happening. This is not a coincidence. You're meant to just sit and notice that. That was meant to happen. You needed to take time, Michelle, to just sit and notice that. And reading it in the book the next day was also, it was like an affirmation of, well done. You're on the right path. You're supposed to be taking some time off now. And there's joy in just noticing something. Don't have to be go, go, go all the time. And actually, there is so much to be said from taking the pause, the stop, to slow down, to speed up. This is all part of you hitting your goals. It's all part of you hitting the money goal, slowing down, taking time out to connect with what actually matters, to reconnect with the why, because that's what leads to everything else. And so it was amazing. It was incredible to be in that moment, to stop and pause. And finally, I just want to talk about how to return back to work after you've had a break, because this can be tricky for people if you're like me, especially where I'm all or nothing. And so to come out of that is a big context switch. Some people can just navigate time off and like work, then go and have time off. I'm not like that. It's tricky. And so for me, I have to transition back in. And so I'm in a season of being off right now. So when I come back, I've got my board written out with everything that I'll be focusing on. I've written out in my calendar already for when I come back what I need to focus on. And I'll ease myself back in so gently with really, really easy tasks that I find really simple and easy. And I start on day one there and I tidy up and I put things away and I clear inbox and I just do really simple, easy things. And I'll draw something tiny on a 1 inch square. By the way, we did this exercise in our membership. Give it a go. We just drew a 1 inch square on a piece of paper and just drew inside it. And it's just so amazing. You just like warm yourself back up. Especially if you've taken a break creatively. So let me talk about this for 1 minute as well. When we take a break from art making, that can be anxiety inducing. When we're taking a break from our social media, from whatever it is, it can be scary. And I've spoken to many artists over years who say, I've just been working intently on this art practice and now I've stopped and I'm so scared that I won't be able to get back to it, that maybe that was a one-hit wonder, that what if I don't know what to make when I come back? And again, it's trusting the process, the trusting that the space is going to give you the answers. And quite often, that is what we need. It's the time out. And if you're struggling to take time out because you have so many commitments, because money's tight and you can't hop on a plane, then for me, what I've done in the past when I've been in these situations, when I've had babies and I can't just hop on a plane, is I've found little ways to take time out. And that might be staying on a friend's sofa and being a bit cheeky and saying, "Do you mind if I get away? I've done this in the past. Do you mind? I feel like I need to get away. Do you mind if I keep on your sofa?" And I've sought childcare because for me, I know that I need that time. Also, I have found really, really cheap Airbnbs and taken time out that way. But also just little moments, just a few hours here and there where I've just stepped away just in that moment and just had the most glorious 2 hours by myself under a tree doing things for free, even that can be massive respite and what you need rather than taking like a whole month off. So I think that's all I have to say on this, but knowing that rest matters, it's not indulgent, it's part of the creative process and it's nothing to feel guilty about. So I hope that helps. I'd love to know over on social media. Please come and share on my posts. Tell me, you'll see our posts over on at United Art Space. Tell me how you take time off. What is it for you? What does that look like for you? And how do you like to spend that time off? And what are you taking time off from? Some of us it's art, some of us it's family, some of it's like you might have a 9 till 5. I'd love to know more about this topic and how you do and navigate this. Okay, take care. Bye bye.